IVM.
Sometimes it feels like all the weight of the world is fallen onto my shoulders, and it usually happens on my downtime while I'm enjoying a nice game of cricket. It's like my family realizes that I'm watching cricket and just rush to ruin it for me then. My mom will come in ranting about some problem with the neighbors. My wife will come in shouting about how we need to redo our kitchen, plus also some problem with the neighbors. And my daughter will come in angry at me because the color of the new car we bought is not what she had wanted, which is apparently the biggest crime a father can commit. Plus, of course, some problem with the neighbors. If only things could be just the same, even if something were to happen to me. Unless www.hdfclife.com, select, done. Things aren't so bad after all. Live calm. With HDFC Life, click to protect life. The Life Protect option protects your family from financial uncertainty. Visit hdfclife.com to know more and for terms and conditions.
I've done a series of episodes on relationships before, and in that series, I have spoken about fighting fair. In today's episode, I'm asking you this. How long do you stretch a fight with your partner? Whether it's your husband or a boyfriend or someone you've just met, someone you are exploring with, somebody you really like and want it to turn into a relationship. How long does a fight go on? Another thing that I'm going to ask you is how long do you allow your partner to stretch the fight? It's the oddest thing that I see because can you imagine how many hours, sometimes days and weeks, we waste fighting? Hi, I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach, and this is Say No to Drama. And today, we're really talking about unnecessary drama that we create. Why do you fight? Because something you want is not happening, it's not being done, you're not getting it. Maybe you're fighting because you're getting mixed signals. Maybe you're fighting because you want attention. Maybe you are fighting because you don't feel loved enough. Maybe you are fighting, like I said, because you're not getting what you want. But having said that, why is it that fights have to go on for days and weeks? What is with this whole cold shoulder story? And sure, if you're in your 20s, I can cut you some slack because you don't know enough. You're still learning. You're still discovering. I mean, from your teenage years into your 20s, nobody expects you to be an expert in relationships and a champ at handling your emotions. But if you are in your 40s and you are still stretching fights beyond 2 to 3 hours, you really need to grow up. I mean, there's something known as emotional maturity that needs to come in. If you are the one who is stretching the fight, then ask yourself, what work have you done on yourself? Through all those relationships that you've had, all the breakups, all the heartbreaks, what work did you do on yourself? And why should your partner have to deal with this? If your partner is the one who is stretching the fight, then at what point are you going to put down a boundary? At what point are you going to call them out? Your role in the relationship is not to be a doormat, nor is it to make your partner so comfortable and feel so loved that they don't grow and evolve. One of your roles as a partner is to also hold up the mirror. Hold up the mirror for your partner to realize what they are doing and what needs to change. And if the two of you are not doing this for each other, if there is no room in the relationship for you guys to fight and work through things and to grow from it, then clearly there is no emotional maturity in this equation and clearly there will be no growth, but there will be a lot of struggle. I've seen a lot of people who will fight because their partner doesn't love them the way they want to be loved. And I'm essentially talking about very cliched things like, oh, they don't make any plans, oh, I'm the one who's always making the plan, doesn't buy me flowers, there's no candlelight dinner, there's no romance. And let me tell you this, it's not only the women who complain about there being no romance. In fact, a lot of guys these days are complaining about it. Why? Because we women have become independent. We have been taking care of ourselves. We are paying our bills, and somewhere, even though we want to be taken care of, we don't know how to let somebody else take care of us. We want to dictate that also. So you want to dictate how somebody should love you without realizing that that person has their own journey of growth, has their own conditioning, has their own definitions of love, and has their own way of expressing. So you are fighting because you're not being loved the way you want to be loved. You are fighting because there's a trust issue. You are fighting because you don't like something. All of this is fine. But why does it have to go on for days and weeks? Because you want it to be resolved in a way that works for you. And you want to teach a lesson, or you want to set an example. Or then this is just your way of fighting in every relationship of yours. You are the kind of person who will fight, sulk in a corner, or then fight and throw a tantrum over and over again, or then fight and then give the other person the cold shoulder. If you're doing any of these things, once again, please grow up. If you're in your 30s and 40s and you're doing this, you need to go and get help and work on yourself. Why? Because this is not the drama your partner needs to be dealing with, number one. Number two, love and a relationship does not have to be this hard. And number three, if there is so much of chaos, struggle, and strife in a relationship, where is the room for happiness? I'm not saying that there will be no fights or that for happiness to exist, there has to be absolute peace. I'm saying that things have to be resolved in the right way for happiness to multiply. When you fight and stretch a fight beyond a few hours, ask yourself, what do you want? What is that resolution that you are trying to draw out of the other person? And if the other person is doing something over and over again and things are not changing, seek help. Only people who are on the verge of breaking up or going towards a divorce don't need to go for therapy. If you and your partner don't know how to communicate and how to fight fair, seek therapy. Go to a counselor. Why? Because they can give you tools and they can realign the way you guys are talking to each other. If a fight is being stretched beyond a few hours, if it is being stretched beyond a single day, you are wasting that much time of your life. Not so nice feelings in sitting in a very unpleasant state and possibly in trying to prove a point. And let me tell you this, the loss of time cannot be undone. So I'm going to tell you this. Scroll down and find the episode called Fighting Fair. Also find the episode on overreacting. Why? Because these two will help you change the way you are communicating in conflict situations in your relationship. I think there's also an episode on insecurities. Go listen to that as well. And if you have learned to fight this way from your parents, because monkey see, monkey do, we do imitate them in our relationships. We do end up either trying to build a relationship that's nothing like theirs, or then we try to replicate theirs. And in that, you may be repeating patterns. So whatever you do in your relationship, put down a rule. No fight can go beyond 3 hours. And if it is going beyond 3 hours, because we're not able to come to a solution, we're not able to figure this out, we're not able to make peace, we need more time to process our emotions, then communicate that. This drama of giving a cold shoulder and I won't talk and he or she must read my mind, you're not 4 years old and you're not 16 years old. Unless, of course, if you are 16, then go for it. But if you are in your 30s or 40s or beyond, this has got to stop. Now, where can you listen to those episodes that I just called out? On the IVM app and the IVM website. Yes, they're all available there. And if you would like to connect with us, our handle on Twitter and Instagram is IVM Podcasts. Also, if you want to reach out to me to learn to change the way you resolve fights in your relationship, then reach out to me on Instagram to book a session. My handle is Positivity Angel.
Hi, I'm Rohan Joshi, and on my podcast, the show about crypto, I've been having some pretty cool conversations with industry experts about what exactly cryptocurrency is and what makes it so exciting. If you haven't already, please check it out on the IVM Podcasts Network Now, a quick shout out to my fellow crypto heads. We've got a listener survey going on, which will take not more than 10 minutes of your time to fill out. So please check the link in the description and help me out by filling it up. Don't forget to tune into a show about crypto on the IVM app and wherever you get your podcasts from.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, the cast and crew of Gehraiya joins Cyrus in a fun chat about the making of the film. Cyrus talks to Deepika Padukone, Ananya Pandey, Siddhant Chaturvedi, Darya Karwa, and the director Shakun Batra. Kadai Podcast is back with a new story. Venvel Seni is a Tamil podcast done by Kavita Jiva. Find out how Tamil South India stayed independent of Ashoka and the Mauryan Empire. On Paisa West, Anupam discusses finance for informal labor with Gautam Bharadwaj and Parul Sheth Khanna, co-founders and directors at Pinbox Solutions. Should assisted dying and euthanasia be legalized? On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk analyze the Lancet Commission's Value of Death report. And on the Filter Coffee podcast with Karthik Nagarajan, freelance journalist Priyanka Pula sheds light on the drug regulation problems in India. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. The word of mouth really helps. Also, don't forget to rate us on whatever platform you're listening to us and check us out on YouTube. You can check a list of all our channels at ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and HDFC Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.